clear.
please.
Let me be clear. I'm not saying that's who I am, but I'm saying I'm from listening to guys, knowing your track record and your history. It's gonna be hard for him to be very clear up front. He's gonna need a little bit more time to vet you out, to figure out where your mind at. Like,
facts.
Does your past affect you? Like, how many kids you got? Like, how are we gonna mess together? He need a little bit more. He can't just be clear, because then he'll be dishonest in the beginning. So he probably. But if you were like virgin or something or close to it, then he probably can be more clear.
What does that have to do?
You haven't had a history, huh?
What does that have to do with the woman getting clarity before she busts it wide open?
She already done busted. That's what I'm saying. If she don't already
for him, like, what does that have to do with? What does that have to do? Like, I understand you talking about the man having to go through the vetting process. I understand that. Yeah. What does that have to do with her behavior and what she needs to be doing?
So does it make sense that after 30 dudes, now she need clarity, like on whether or not she's just a bust down? That's what I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out the logic in this.
These outrageous numbers.
Hold on. You don't bent it over 100 times, and now you need clarity. Like,
let's say for the sake of argument,
she take a break.
I grant your argument. I grant your argument. Hold on, wait. I grant your argument. Let's say for the sake of argument that she did get bust down by 30 dudes. If she's ready for marriage, and she tells old boy, hold on, wait. I'm just saying. Hold on, wait. Hold on, hear me out. Humor me.
You gotta hear how that sounds.
I know. Let me humor me for a second. Let's say for the sake of argument, she did get buzzed down by 30 dudes.
That's crazy.
And now she's ready for marriage, right? And Shan comes in and tells her, hey, before you bust it wide open for him, get clarity on whether that guy wants to marry you or not. How does that discount what she says? If dude comes up to her and say, hell no, chick, you just gonna be a side chick because you've been buzzed down by 30 dudes. Does that mean she has to say, oh, well, damn, I've been buzzed down by 30 dudes. Might as well bust it wide open for you. Or does she have to keep trying it back to figure out if somebody gonna fall for it or not?
Yeah, but how do you measure clarity? Like when a woman says, because most women want to be married, but they don't want to be wives. So how do we measure that a woman actually wants to be a wife? Because in my opinion, most women who become like 35, 40, 45 and older, let's start from 30. If they were not dying to be married before age 30, so when they were 25, 26, 27, 28, 20, 29, and 30, if the woman wasn't dying to be married at that age, when she gets to 30 and now she's saying she wants to be married, in my opinion, and in other guys' opinions, they want a man. They are tired of paying their own bills. Now they want a retirement plan. They want to use the marriage as a retirement plan. Because I believe any woman who's marriage-minded, it doesn't just switch on. It's not like a switch on and off that, oh, now, you know what? I'm tired of living my best life. I'm tired of the whole phase. Now I just want to be a wife. You don't switch on and off. It's either you are raised to be a wife and you've always wanted to be a wife when you're 21, 22, 23, 24, and maybe you just didn't find the man, or you are not raised to be a wife. Now you just want a man to come pay your bills now that you're 30 or 35. It's not a switch that you switch on and off. You know what I mean? Because that's what women these days do. Most were not raised to be wives. So when she says, I'm ready for marriage, they never say, I'm ready to be a wife. They say, I'm ready for marriage. What does that really mean? They want a wedding. They want a man who's going to come pay their bills, the retirement plan, but they don't want to be a wife.
If she, I ain't saying it's going to work for her, but how does that discount what Shan said?
And let me ask you, this is the problem I have with that, right? It's so funny. First of all, 30 people, y'all watch too much. I understand there's women out there. That's a lot of people, okay? First and foremost, everybody who has a past doesn't have 30 people. It could be one or two relationships, long relationships, right? And even if they got it, huh?
At 40, two relationships, two bodies at 40? No, come on.
It's possible. People be in long relationships. What are you talking about?
I think it's something between that average 15.
Clarity to be in relationships. Listen, I know lots of people who be in long relationships. A lot of them. They shouldn't be, but they have been in long relationships. So with that being said, even if she was in, let's just say, a couple of relationships. How do you even know that you're even doing what that person did to enter her body in the first place? Like, you're even that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, compare yourself to her past. Are you even, you're assuming that you even have what they have to have gotten that far with her, or did the things that they did for her to get to where they are. You know what I'm saying?
You think Vivica Fox need clarity?
That makes.
You said you think Vivica Fox needs what?
You think Vivica Fox need clarity?
I don't think she should be throwing her. No, I don't think she should be leading. I don't think any woman should be leading with sex. I don't.
I ain't say lead.
I think that women should be more. I don't think women should be as accessible. Like I say that all the time, as accessible as they are. Every man should not have access to your body. End of discussion.
And she does say,
yeah, but when do they realize that? When do they realize that every man should not have access to their bodies? That's all men are saying. Did they realize after 30, after 35, after 2 kids? Like, when did they realize, when did it click that, you know what? Okay, maybe I shouldn't be sleeping with every man. Maybe I shouldn't have a baby with every man that I sleep with or every man I date. Because whatever she does in the past, the new guy has to pay for everything she did wrong. So if she used to go, if she used to have a baby with every man, she's going to say no more babies for the new guy. If she used to let the guy hit on the first date, she's going to tell the new guy no more hitting on the first date. If the guys in the past used to only pay $20 to take her out on a date, for the new guy, she's going to be asking you for the $200 dinner date. We see them saying Cheesecake Factory is not good enough. We see them saying $500 dinner date is what it is. We see them saying a man offering coffee date is not good enough. If before she wasn't requiring men to take her to a nice restaurant, she's going to be asking the new guy in the future, the one she's ready for marriage, to take her on expensive dinner dates. So it's confusing to men. Obviously, they are women. They don't care what men think. They don't care how men see it. It's all about them. Like, what do I get from the transaction? They don't care.
Makes sense. But you see how you made that comparison, and you were like, okay, you might not have what those 29 other guys might have had. That's why men.
First of all, I don't think women have 30 bodies. I think that you guys be just exaggerating because you hear those.
Depends on what generation. Maybe not your generation. Maybe not your generation. Because I talk to a lot of females that are way younger, and the numbers are high. They're high. When you're talking about chicks deal with somebody for like 3 months, and then switch it up. And that comparison that you were making, that's why dudes avoid that in the first place, because they don't really want to deal with that comparison and all of those other guys and stuff. That's why we say, oh, body count matters, because we don't want to compete with all of that. And when you think about it, her being able to bond with you is different. Like when a female goes through so many dudes over time, she just desensitized. And that's not something that you really want to deal with. And that's problematic for us.
I think that's a certain type. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sweeney. Go ahead.
She never said that we're not talking about women waiting until, like, these chicks being buzzed down and waiting until marriage to have sex again. All Shan said was make sure you got clarity that the motherfucker that you about to give it up to actually wants to be with you. That's all she's saying. Like,
is that not what's happening though, Sweeney? So you don't see that that's a trend that women are going to go in their 20s.
Let's say for the sake of argument that is true, right? That they had their fun in their 20s. How does that discount her saying the next person that you give it up to, at least make sure the motherfucker want to be with you before you give it up to him? She ain't saying be a born again virgin and wait till marriage. She's just saying make sure the person that you give it up to next, if you want to be in a relationship, wants to be in a relationship with you. Or are you, or Bruiser, are you simply saying that once a hoe, always a hoe? You might as well stay there.
Well, I'm just saying, just be consistent with your stand.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bust it open all the way to 40, and then you turn 41, I'm a celibate to marriage. It's just kind of
doesn't make sense.
Nobody said that.
Let me say this though, and people are gonna get mad at this, right? Because people like to say I'll be counting, Why would you want to be with that person? What is y'all obsession with women who have high body counts? There are so many women who don't have that many body counts. Just date one of them. If you in your mind know that all these body counts is gonna bother you later on, why are you even involving yourself? Just walk away. She's not the one for you because the body count, you can't do anything about it. You can't go back and erase it.
Yeah, you can't.
You can swab it all you want to. It's still there.
I concur.
I get that, but like, isn't it an issue with I don't know, somebody used this on a podcast. I mean, not a podcast, but said something about an imprint or some shit. She always gonna have my imprint or something like that. Because I think, and then she spoke, I forgot what interview it was. She spoke, she said she been married for 7 years, but the man she met, it was one man she met that just, that's all she think about or some shit. Like the dude she's with now will never get there, and she understand that she never hold it over his head, and he understand and that he's okay with it, and she respectful. But she's
the issue, like she's saying that men should choose women who don't have high body counts. Where are those women? It's not like they have it written on their foreheads. For even the women who with high body counts claim they don't have high body counts. So how are men supposed to tell? Obviously, if you get to know a woman, you can see the way she moves. Eventually it will show. But by then it may be too late. By the time she shows you that she's been in the street, it may be too late. Maybe you even have a baby with her. But for what we just say, men should just date women with low body counts. Where? Does she know any women with low body counts? Because I can guarantee you, the women who do adult films like porn and stuff like that, the women who do OnlyFans, the women who are in church, the women who have careers, they all swear for God they only have less than 5 bodies. So how are men supposed to choose? You feel me? Like, seriously, it's not that easy.
Said, if she was to be honest, like the dude blew her back out. You know what I'm saying? And then she never had that experience, almost like getting crack or some shit and trying to look for that next hire. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it safe to say, ladies on the panel, if y'all can be honest, I don't know if y'all allowed to. This might not be safe for work. But is it a such thing as a man putting down so well? It's kind of hard for you to get that feeling in the next man if he's not in that same type caliber. Because I hear a lot of guys argue about it, even in the gym, like, man, something about an imprint, something about putting it down, and then all of a sudden,
y'all put too much focus on
I'm just asking, just for clarity. I'm not siding with him. I'm just.
But
the only imprint I ever heard of was on Twilight, and it was about some werewolves.
But Bruiser, her advice to women has nothing to do with our advice to men. Right. Like there's nothing wrong with us as men still telling men be careful about women who have high body counts. That still holds weight. You know what I mean? Like that still holds weight.
Yeah.
However, how does her advice towards women counteract our advice? We say don't worry, like, because at least, and like to Shan's point, if you don't want to be with a hoe, just don't be with a hoe.
Yeah, but how are men supposed to figure out who's the hoe and who's not? Like, he make it seem like women are writing on their foreheads that I'm a hoe, I'm not a hoe. How are men supposed to, like I said, over time, looking at the behaviors of a woman, okay, sure, you may find out who's a hoe, who's not a hoe, but it's so hard. A woman in church versus a woman in the club could be the same thing. They could literally just switch out. She could leave club at 4 a.m. and she's in church at 8 a.m. Like, it's not as easy as it is, as he tries to make it seem like it's very easy to see who's a hoe and who's not.